Now, you can see why the white apartheid government made these songs illegal. And they even had a radio station which was against the law to listen to. Now, think about that. Imagine if there were a station that you liked, and if somebody caught you listening to that, they could put you in prison for it. That's the kind of situation that was going on in South Africa. We'll listen to a little bit of Miriam Makeba, A Piece of Ground. Next track, I think. Yeah, this next track. We could listen to all of these. As I said, in the 1960s in America, I remember very well the Vietnam protest movements. What we think about as the 60s, from about 1963 to the middle of the 70s, we call that the 60s, was a very important period for social justice. Because if you think of all the changes that were made in that time, the women's movement, civil rights legislation, the stopping of the Vietnam War, and at that point, there were some programs that helped eradicate poverty. Unfortunately, they didn't continue for as long as we'd like to, so we still have a lot of work to do. But again, my point in talking to you today is that music was a very strong tool to make all of these things happen. I'm going to have to skip over a lot of things because of time, but before I invite the Rackham Symphony Choir and Suzanne Acton to sing a few pieces, I will just end with a couple of words. They're going to be singing two examples from a piece I wrote a few years ago that we're performing called Beatitude Mass, Mass for the Homeless. And this Mass uses texts of the Catholic Latin Mass, set to music, and also English texts by the playwright William Luce, who interviewed homeless people, and I also interviewed some homeless people, and we put together this text between the movements of the Latin Mass in English. And you'll hear a little bit of the Kyrie, which is Lord have mercy, and a little bit of the duet with the two soloists who represent two homeless people. Before that, I will just end by thanking you for inviting me here, and I want to just make a point. The future of the world really depends on young people, really depends on you. There's a lot of changes that took place, and things have really improved in a lot of the ways that I've mentioned, civil rights legislation, the women's movement, etc. So many things have gotten better. And the first black president, which to me is a wonderful thing. I'm glad I'm alive to see that. But it's up to you now. Look at how far we've come. The key to change is education. I'll say that again. The key is education. So you being here today is a very important thing. You being in school is a very important thing. And you really can make a difference. So you've got to believe that. And I now thank you, and I'll invite the choir. I'm sorry? Did you get your order? Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Our next selection is from the Beatitude Mass, and it's called The Messenger. We are going to have two opera singers, and they're not going to use any microphones because they don't need it. We'll be seeing them in a few minutes. Kimwana Donner is our soprano, and our baritone is Jonathan Lash. And both of them will be singing with Michigan Opera Theater's production of Don Giovanni coming up. So, how many of you have been to an opera before? You've been to an opera? Okay. The singers don't usually use mics when they sing in an opera. Their voices are large enough to fill the hall. And so, please welcome as soon as they come up here. We're almost done. Kimwana Donner and Jonathan Lash. Thank you. Do any of you have any questions for our singers today? Any questions? Okay. I think, who do we turn this over to? Thank you very much for coming today, and I think we have one more session coming up next week. Melissa, do you have any announcements you want to make or anything?
we hope to see everyone tomorrow.
Okay, we hope to see you all tomorrow for our dress rehearsal. And what are the details about the bus?
Julie has the bus details.
Julie, do you have the bus information? Okay, 2:15 tomorrow morning. The bus will be here in front of the school. Thank you very much.
Oh my gosh! There it is.
First of all, that was wonderful. We want to give them another round of applause, please. Again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving our children a chance to experience not only culture but diversity with regards to music and art and the different lessons that they're learning. Hopefully they are taking the lessons to heart. I will speak to them in your absence. We are getting better, but we have a long way to go before we are where I need us to be. But I do thank you. So thank you for coming. Record choir.